So funny enough, I actually didn't take over my dad's business or my mom's business, right? When I started to cut yards in 2010, I was working in the warehouse. I was working at Tom Tom actually, and I was working at Tom Tom full time in the morning. Then I had took a nighttime shift as well, and I was working at Glacier Foods warehouse in the morning. So I was an order selector, and so I had been doing order selecting for about from 18 to 23, and then I took that second job, and I worked that second job for about 3 months, 3.5 months, something like that. And during that time, I was like, okay, man, I gotta get back to what I always said I was gonna do, which was, cut grass. And but yeah, my mom had a in-home daycare, and my dad had a lawn business, and so both were just in-home daycare. My dad had a lawn business. It was just for my dad. It was just him, no employees, anything like that. He might have did anywhere from 40 to 60 homes or something like that. I don't know. I never counted, but I started working with my dad when I was 5 years old, and I worked with him every summer up until I was about 16. So there wasn't a lot of playing or going to the rec or anything like that. Staying out to dark in the streets. I was staying out to dark cutting them yards. But if I could go back in time, now I would say, I would actually have went at the course of what my mom did, which is the in-home daycare, versus, cutting yards. But of course, you grow up, cutting grass, that's the man's job, doing, in-home daycare. That would be like my sisters could do something like that. But yeah, in hindsight, I was like, man, I would have definitely took over or started, my own in-home daycare or a daycare facility of some kind or something like that. But yeah, I started working when I was 5. My dad had me out there. I was his only son. He got me out there at 5 years old, walking between his legs, and I learned how to cut grass. And I would cut grass every summer with him and my sisters and my mom. Of course, I wanted to stay home some days and play with all the kids that she had in the home. My little best friend would come in at 8 o'clock, and so my dad would like to work late, so he'd go. He'd start his route at 10 or 11 o'clock, and so I'd get to try to spend a few hours in the morning, playing with my friend and things like that, and try to get home in time before he got picked up around 6 o'clock. But a lot of times that didn't work out. But yeah, my friend Aaron,